Um, and this is, of course, the follow-up communications committee meeting from February 17th. And Bentley and I were just having a conversation, just a brief conversation about the fact that Monday we are scheduled to um, actually constitute the full board. I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time, and so we're scheduled for that. So Dr. Wade, I think we were, from the meeting on February 17th, we were just going to kind of circle back in this half an hour and kind of talk about what kind of update we wanted to have for the meeting on Monday. Is that correct? And
Yes,
if so,
ma'am.
I'll just turn it over to you and we'll get started and move forward.
Yeah, I don't have a true agenda. It was more so just making sure we have our ducks in alignment to be able
Right.
to give an update. So I know that there were some things that we talked about doing last time. I know that I haven't done much in terms of progressing on some of it. I know that Bentley was, making some updates in terms of the website and things like that. So more so just having a list and then talking about maybe some of the future things that we wanted to do. So I think that the majority of the meeting will be about, constituting the new board members, but at least be able to, communicate that we've met. There are some things that we're working towards from that perspective. So, it's less anything truly present. It's more so to be in alignment in terms of what the update is.
Absolutely. I was also sharing with Bentley that I had just sort of recapped the last meeting, and you're absolutely correct. Bentley, it might be good for you to kind of update us. I know you did an excellent update last month in terms of the updates and the improvements you're making to the website. I think that's something we definitely want to update the board on Monday. And then you were going to do sort of an outline of what's required in the press kit and share, I think, with Dr. Wade some of the story suggestions that you were talking about. So can you just kind of bring us up to date in terms of your thoughts on that to be able to provide an update at Monday's meeting?
Yes. I don't know if I've said it before, but I'm the director of marketing for Long John Silver's, and Lent is our roughest season. So I have not gotten nearly as much done as I wanted to, but I'm hoping over the next 2 weeks things to be simmering down a little bit and get around to doing a little bit more. During the last meeting, it was requested that I outline all the changes that have been made to the website, and then also propose some future changes that are outside of sort of my general capacity to do. So I'm about 50% of the way done with that. I can probably shoot that over by like end of day tomorrow to the rest of the committee so for everybody to look at. And then also we can add in whatever else we wanted to as far as what we want to do in the future for it. As far as the press release stuff goes, I had a press release that I drafted that we weren't able to get out maybe a little over a month ago. And I've reformatted that to be sort of a plug and play template that we can use, especially with like the news that's actually coming out now about people being nominated and a vote actually coming out. It would probably be good to get something out there so people can be aware about all the changes that are going on right now. And then the third thing that I've been working on is scrubbing through all of these recorded meetings, all the recorded Zoom meetings, and especially the ones with the public feedback involved, and trimming down to various comments and issues and misinformation that I'm seeing sort of pop up across the board, and creating just a general communication deck for us to sort of focus on the key points in order to make sure that everything that needs to be communicated out there is being communicated out there. And then along those same lines, I did set up a very novice and free social listening tool called Mention, which is getting daily updates whenever anybody's mentioning West End Partners or the West End Opportunity Partnership. So we can have a very basic breakdown of what the conversation is out there.
Thank you for that. in terms of that template, can you send that over to me for the press release? Ms. Rita, I'm not sure who has handled the press releases in the past. That's something that I can have, I can work on internally as well as we prepare for what's happening on Monday. I think that it will be best that we actually are proactive about that part. And I'm guessing whatever Bentley sends over will kind of have like some boilerplate process or paragraph towards the bottom that talks about, you know, what the board is from that perspective. But I can work to have something drafted, and it may require some additional conversations in between now and Monday too, to understand what all we would need to communicate with that press release.
Excellent. So that we have it ready after the, I guess, to release at
Yeah,
the conclusion of the board meeting.
Yeah, so I would need to, we would need to just have some, you know, some conversations prior to that, so that one, we kind of like have eyes on it before we leave that day. So I'll need some more information in terms of what all we want to communicate from that perspective. And then Bentley, if you have, I know a couple of releases have been released. You know, if you have a shortcut to that you could share with me, I wouldn't mind referring to it just from that perspective. And then I'll have, I'll work on it internally to make sure that that's ready for Monday.
Yeah, the press releases are up on the website, and I can,
Okay.
I believe it's on the category, and I can just kind of give you a direct link to them. I
I'm
didn't.
not saying that. I didn't know if you had categorized them, so that's great.
Yeah, and I didn't have anything to do with those previous ones either. Just a heads up on that.
Right, let me say that. Okay, so regarding any press releases that came out prior to July the 1st, I would say, before the board, before the governor began to appoint the board members, that was all coordinated in the transition team. Tyler Glick with Glick Strategies worked with the legislators on that. So
Okay.
those were all done through another entity. So we have not officially released any press releases since the board's been in place.
Okay, maybe I won't ask for them. Well, I'll find one.
I did not mean that derogatorily.
Right, he didn't.
I
He
just meant
didn't.
that, like, yeah.
That's what-
I'm joking.
Just want to level set on you know,
Right.
who's done what.
I didn't take it that way, Bentley. I knew what you meant because we've had conversations about it, and Tyler was very helpful. You know, I introduced you guys briefly. He was very helpful relative to you know, to the focus at that particular point in time.
So the one that was released on December 3rd, who drafted that one? Do you know?
On December 3rd.
It was about the West End Opportunity Partnership Interim Board establishes process timeline to select 9 new members.
A lot of it was generated, you know, on the media side.
Okay, I wasn't sure. It
Not
just says-
anything official from us. Yeah, a lot of that stuff came from stories. You know, when you like through a lot of the community engagement meetings that
Okay.
Senator Neal and Representative Stevenson would have, you would have various media representatives who would sit in on those meetings because they're all public and open meetings. And a lot of that stuff was generated based on their own information.
Yeah, I'm curious as to who generated it. That's what.
Oh, okay, we can track that down.
Okay, so that definitely will be an action item for this week, is to prepare the press release for acknowledging that part for Monday.
Yeah, it looks like that was the only press release, official press release that we have posted up on the site. Everything else is news related. It looks like direct links to Churchill Downs or anybody else.
Okay, so that definitely will be one. In terms of the social monitoring tool mentioned, in terms of how you're tracking, if you have a report or something like that, is that something that we can be able to pull down like prior to each board meeting to look at things that have like top hits in between meetings?
So with it being a free tool, there's really not too much in the way of reporting. It's mostly like an RSS dump, but it just monitors social channels. So I can certainly put something together But there isn't like a very good way to just kind of send you a direct link to it.
Do you
Um,
have any specific terms that you're
West
capturing?
End TIF Louisville, stuff like that. I can send you over
Yeah.
a list of all of the listening phrases that we have in there.
Send that to me, and I have some social monitoring tools on my side, and I can have one of my team members just pull something, so we kind of just have something prepared for Monday as well. If I can get to
Yeah.
it. And this is something, Ms. Rita, you know, the free ones are very limited in terms of capacity. It's something we should probably consider having something paid, you know, once we have the board in and, you know, the additional members that will be on this committee. It's something that we should, you know, probably have that's being managed from a board perspective, from a listening thing. So that's something that we will also need to, you know, assign some budget to, and it's usually a monthly fee for that. So something that we'll need to consider.
Yeah, I was just thinking that's one of the items, like when, in our last meeting, when you were talking about getting some quotes. And I guess once we have pulled together the things we are doing, the things we would like to do, and then get the full board engaged, then that would be a time that we could start looking at some overall quotes to present for consideration for a budget. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
and Dr. Wade, you use Sprinkler, right? Is that what you said?
correct.
Okay.
So yeah, if you send those over, I'll have someone from my team just create a report and just pull. And I think that if we just, you know, say internally, we want to make sure that we're pulling what happens between board members, so that if they're meetings, so that if something emerges, we can address it from that perspective. And it just kind of probably would just be good to have to communicate to board members so that they understand what's being said on social overall.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, those were the biggest things that I wanted to just be able to outline. Bentley, whatever you send over, I can incorporate maybe just into like a one-pager slide, Ms. Rita, for Monday from that perspective. I will be
Okay.
remote that day, but I will be there.
Okay, great. Okay. And so I'm working on, well, I'm gonna send out the minutes for the meeting either to, you know, tonight or tomorrow for the board meeting from January. But I am still working on the agenda. I have to talk to David on a couple of things. So I don't know if he's gonna wanna like get the save the board development committee for last because that's gonna take more time. Or I'm thinking we're gonna have to do it first because what we want to do is to get those new board members voted in. So then
Yeah.
we can conduct business. So right now I have them first on the agenda, then I have the just the summary, monthly summary that the finance committee does, and then I have communications. But I can do communications, so I can put it in there wherever, second or third, whatever works for, you know.
Yeah,
you guys.
I agree with you on let's do the bigger business first from that
Yeah.
perspective. And the one thing, even if we only get to one point, it would be making sure that we are in alignment for the press release to go out. I think that we have to start owning this narrative and being able to
Yes.
communicate that in a timely manner from that perspective. So that's the one thing I just want to be able to talk through more than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because, and I know we've been talking about it, and finally we're at the point where, like you said, Dr. Wade, we own the narrative, and it is our responsibility to make sure that factual information is put out there to hopefully help eliminate some of the misinformation that we've been experiencing.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you all for joining. I know that we're also busy. You're dealing with Lent season, Bentley, and I'm dealing with busy clients and things like that. And Ms. Rita, you're always just busy. So I appreciate everybody that was able to make it today.
Thank you.
And I feel
I
like
see Aaron is on. I didn't see him
Oh,
earlier. Aaron? Yes.
Yes,
Aaron.
hey everybody. I'm so excited to hear all the progress that's been made, and just sitting here checking out the website while we're speaking.
Great.
Don, if you could send me some of the communication pieces that you were just speaking about, the information related to what's going out to press and that kind of thing. If you
Yeah,
have
we
an
don't
idea.
have it now. Bentley's
Okay.
gonna send me what he has in terms of a template. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be like more boilerplate part for that. And then I'm gonna connect with Ms. Rita to see, but I think, one aspect will be identifying the existing members of the board as well as identifying the new members of the board. And just a short excerpt that talks to, now that the board is fully constituted, what may be some initial things. But that's some more conversations that need to take place. So my goal is to be able to have a draft of that and then be able to fill it in, to be able to go out shortly after the meeting.
Okay. Um,
But it's something
And
I would
I'm
like the
gonna-
board to be able to see prior to it going out.
okay.
Right.
Nominations are still open, correct? Or no?
They reopen, let's see, there's a meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock as a follow-up to the meeting we had on Monday. 6 of the neighborhood representatives have been recommended. And there are 3 neighborhoods that they still need to discuss on tomorrow, Aaron, but I can talk to you offline. I don't think you were able to be at the meeting on Monday, but the
No,
recording
ma'am.
is in Bentley's possession and he's working it now to get that posted on the site from Monday. And so for Monday's meeting, the Thursday meeting came up, so that one wasn't planned, which is tomorrow at 1. And you should have that, have that information.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'd love to discuss that further. Thanks, Rita.
No problem.
Yeah,
And
I wish we had the names now to be able to do it, but we don't have the names. So that's why it's gonna be just, a shell and we can populate with what we know. And then that's why it'll take us finalizing it, hopefully Monday, to get it out.
Yeah, just getting
And
as much of
Dr.
that work done up front as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just also want to add that Devon Holt, who is the chair for the Board Development Committee, he's in the process right now. We're collecting information from the new nominees, from the nominees, where we can create bios. But in our meeting Monday, we also suggested that it would be great to have that same information for the rest of the board. So I don't know if the press release will focus on the new neighborhood members and then maybe a different one that comes out about the full board, but we can talk about that offline because I do have some resources that would be helpful for putting together this press release.
Yeah, I think that this is just me thinking crafty in my mind in terms of how I would start with the template. It would definitely be to announce the new board members, and it might give a sentence or so about them. And then it would list the existing members. But I'm thinking that, long term, we probably need to just have a board member page on the site that shows the picture and the bio information so that that's your
everybody.
go-to source for that.
Excellent.
Yeah, kind of set up the same way that the city government website is set up, so you can kind of dig into each person.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're all on the same page, so we'll just be connecting by email and everything from today through Sunday. And fortunately, the meeting is Monday at 4, from 4 to 6 rather than at noon. So we have some time, and I'm sure we'll all be using every minute of it as we prepare for this important meeting on Monday.
All right. Well, thank you
Awesome.
all. I appreciate you taking time out of your day for us to reconvene. Bentley, as soon as you send me that stuff over, I'll get started.
Yeah, it's on my home computer, so I'll get it over to you probably around like 6 or 7 tonight.
Okay, that works. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone, for
Bye.
joining. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.